In the headlines, Buhari receives UN Secretary General at State House. Uniben students protest over ASU strike. Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi declares presidential ambition. And on the foreign scene, EU calls for Russian oil ban as Moscow strikes Western Ukraine. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday received the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the State House in Abuja. He was received by top government officials. Earlier in the day, he visited the UN House in Abuja alongside some top officials and diplomats of the agency. Guterres is on a two-day official visit to Nigeria, the first of such. The UN chief had arrived in Nigeria on Tuesday and also visited Borno State, where he proposed the reintegration of repentant terrorists. This, he said, is key to the restoration of peace in the northeast region. The UN scribe also performed a wreath-laying ceremony in honor of the August 26, 2011 suicide bomb attack victims. The House of Representatives reconvened for a one-day sitting on Wednesday to pass 5 important bills. 4 of the bills relate to terrorism, money laundering, and proceeds from crimes. President Muhammadu Buhari had, in separate letters to the 2 chambers of the National Assembly, requested the passage of the bills, explaining that the deficiencies in the country's anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism regime made it imperative for the passage of the bills. He warned that the non-passage of the bills posed a risk that might lead to the eventual blacklisting of Nigeria by the Financial Action Task Force. Addressing journalists after the session, spokesman of the House, Benjamin Kalu, noted that the law needed a revisit as it will create a special control unit in the EFCC, which is now to be better equipped in handling issues relating to money laundering. The House later adjourned to May 24th. An explosion has killed 2 persons at a flow station in the oil-producing community of Izombe in Oguta local government area of Imo State. The explosion occurred in the early hours of Wednesday at the facility operated by Adex Petroleum Development Nigeria Limited. Michael Abatam, the police public relations officer in Imo, confirmed the incident. He explained that the Commissioner of Police in Imo has drafted the command's anti-bomb unit as well as some operatives of the command to the area to prevent any breakdown of law and order. An eyewitness in the community also disclosed to media sources that the 2 persons affected in the explosion were carriers of the bomb. Moving on, there is a palpable shock and an uneasy calm among residents in the bustling and thriving neighborhood of Ebute Metta following the building collapse that left 10 people dead. Sympathizers still crowded the area, speaking in harsh tones about the incident that has left many devastated. Reports say 5 persons are still receiving treatment at various hospitals for injuries sustained in the collapse. Scavengers thronged the site of the collapsed building to pick up metals and other scraps from the scene. It is still unclear when the debris will be cleared. Students of the University of Benin, Edo State on Wednesday protested against the ongoing strike action of the Academic Staff Union of Universities. On Tuesday, students equally protested around the University of Ibadan, Oyo State, calling for immediate reopening of public universities across Nigeria. In Uniben, the students who protested around the university's gate and its environs had declared that what they called Uni Street, meaning that Nigerian students will now be taking lectures on the streets, with some of them acting as lecturers, all in a bid to protest school closure. The strike action of the lecturers, which is entering its 4th month, has left public universities shut since its inception, following the lecturers' demands, which the federal government had allegedly not met. ASU had accused the government of poor commitment to the payment of earned academic allowance, the continued use of integrated personnel payroll information system, and refusal to adopt the university's transparency and accountability solution, among others.
Yes, if we cannot learn at the four walls of the university, we can learn here. This is Ring Road, the art of Benin. We are trying to learn at the four walls of the university. This
and yet, that is fact. So it's either they send us to classroom or we apply the streets. And we want to help our parents and beg them also. If they don't conclude this strike, there is no election. No election. Enough is enough. This country has messed up the life of the youth. We will not be losers. We will not be losers. It's either in the class or in the streets. They should choose one.
In politics, Chairman Nigeria Governors Forum and Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi says tackling the current security challenges in the country would require aggressive recruitment of security personnel. Governor Fayemi, who spoke on the sidelines of his declaration to run for the presidency of the country, is advocating decentralization of the nation's power grid for enhanced efficiency.
Kayode Fayemi is taking the intellectual approach to announce his intention to contest for the highest office in the land. As he unveils what he calls "my agenda for Nigeria," there are obviously questions to answer. For instance, what are the impediments in addressing the nation's contemporary challenges? Fayemi says recruitment bottlenecks in the security sector.
This country was able to recruit in an emergency manner. In 1967, it moved from an army of 10,000 to 250,000 within a space of 1 year. Today, there are all sorts of bureaucratic impediments that are not allowing us to expand the men and women that we have in the armed forces and in the police. And we need to do that quickly. If we're not able to do that in the shortest possible time by clearing away those bureaucratic impediments, we need to bring on board our reserve elements who are still on duty.
How do you address the twin challenges of epileptic power supply and rising unemployment in the country? The Ekiti State Governor advocates for the decentralization of the power grid to replace the existing grid, which he says has broken, while creating an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive.
It's time to do away with a national grid. We now need to begin to look seriously in the direction of zonal or regional grids, or even micro and mini grids outside of the mainstream official national energy grid. It's the only way to solve this problem and focus our energy on renewable energy as well.
The formal declaration of the Ekiti State Governor adds to the long list of aspirants from the Southwest, eyeing the #1 seat. It is a big worry for political leaders in the zone who are now struggling to correct the situation. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and former senator representing Cross River Central, Senator John Owan Eno, has called for the support for the party from all Nigerians in the forthcoming 2023 elections. Senator Eno, who was interacting with journalists at the NUJ Press Center in Abuja as part of the World Press Freedom Day, commended journalists for contributing to national development through effective reportage. The former senator said it was imperative for the party to consolidate on the gains of the Buhari administration by ensuring victory in 2023 and advised Nigerians support the party both at the national and state level for sustained national development. Owan, who is an aspirant for governor in Cross River State under the APC, pledged to turn around the fortunes of the state through transparency, employment generation, security of lives and property, as well as international partnerships with donor agencies. Member representing Boni Degema Federal Constituency and governorship aspirant of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State, Dr. Farada Gogo, has been rushed to the hospital. SA media to the lawmaker, Ibrahim Lawal, in a statement said Gogo was rushed to the hospital after he complained of stomach and chest complications. Gogo was whisked away last week Thursday by security operatives at the venue of the governorship screening when he appeared after being declared wanted by the Rivers State government. He was arraigned before magistrate court last Friday and has been in police detention following the court order. You're still watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, Kano residents witness Durbar Festival. Do stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that Buhari receives UN Secretary General at State House. We also told you that Uniben students protest over ASU. Moving on to health, the National Senior Citizens Center has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Primary Health Care Development Agency on achieving integrated care for older persons in the country. Director General of the National Senior Citizens Center, Dr. M.M. Omokaro, says with the multi-partnership achieved, there will be now a robust and inclusive healthcare delivery model for senior citizens in Nigeria across the tiers of government. A statement by the head Public Relations, Public Affairs, Media and Communications of the National Senior Citizens Center, Omini Oden, assured that renewed care for senior citizens is key to reducing morbidity rate among the elderly in the country. The statement added that the Chairman, Forum of Executive Secretaries of State Primary Healthcare Development Agencies, also endorsed the Memorandum of Understanding on behalf of the states. With the ease of the COVID-19 lockdown, residents in Kefi, Nasarawa State, have come out en masse to celebrate their age-long tradition called Hawandoshi. The Emir of Kefi, Dr. Shehu Chindoya Musa III, emphasized the need to take agriculture, education, polities, and security serious to improve their well-being. Gaza Yakubu was there for Trust TV and now reports.
This is how it feels celebrating Durbar Festival in Kefi without restriction. Fun, passion, merriment, a showcase of historical embroidered attires, you just name it. With the COVID-19 restriction last year, the street for Durbar festivity was deserted and the people isolated.
And we feel bad. We feel, at least we feel it very bad because we used to do it every year as a culture. Because this is our culture. So we feel bad because we didn't do it last year.
People are disturbed. Actually, we are not happy, but it has come as an incident. So that's not how we can do. But actually, people are not happy but last time.
Durbar Festival is an age-long tradition in northern Nigeria. Watching the people of Kefi reviving these culture is a scene to behold. As the Emir went round town with his district head to greet the residents and finally retire back to his palace, spectators struggled to catch a glimpse. The celebration of these festivities is usually done the second day of Salah, and it is called Hawandoshi. In his speech this year, the Emir emphasized the need for the people of Kefi to be serious with agriculture, security, and education.
Please, let's not forget about agriculture. There's lack of food in the north, so it is necessary to go to the farm. Let us be serious with education, security, and politics. It is getting late already, and I wish everybody well.
Salah Durbar in Kefi used to be a 7-day celebration, but for security reasons it is cut to 3 days. The next event will be held at the Emir's Palace, where local wrestling will be showcased.
How does it feel catching a glimpse of Salah festivity in Kefi? Well, if you ask me, I feel much alive watching their age-long traditions, but the event still continues. Gaza Yakubu, Trust TV News, Kefi.
Thousands of Kano residents have turned out to witness the annual Durbar Festival, which is part of activities marking Eid al-Fitr celebrations in the state. Trust TV's correspondent, Idris Jibrin, said Emir of Kano, Aminu Adobayero, district heads and other traditional title holders led the procession held at the Emir's Palace in Kofar Kudu in Kano. The report.
Kano is again on a fast lane. It is celebration time, and the people of Kano know exactly how to celebrate. This year's Durbar in Kano is unique for several reasons. First, the month of Ramadan has been peaceful owing to improved security situation in the state. Then Kano has a new Emir leading the Durbar for the 3rd time since his coronation. Therefore, they stormed the palace, while the Emir rode out his troops to the streets of Kano. It is Hawandoshi Durbar, a world-class traditional entertainment, relentless in its motion, splendid in its color, breathtaking horsemanship, and royal in its presentation.
It was great. Yeah, very, very memorable. Something unique to Nigeria I think more people should see and be aware of.
This is my first ever visit to Nigeria, and it's been one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And I think it's fabulous that there's such strong tradition and heritage and culture in Nigeria.
Hawandoshi holds a day after Salah. It is always time-bound, beginning at sunset, ending at 6 p.m. In Hawandoshi, the Emir and his train traditionally pay homage to the King Mother, not far from the palace. Thereafter, the Emir marched to the palace to receive homage from his royal train and from the people of Kano. During this occasion, firing of Dane guns by the Emir's royal guards is among the special homage for the Emir, led by the prominent royal servant known as Metapari, the King Chief Gunman. Thousands of Kano residents, including the state governor Abdullahi Ganduje, top government officials and foreign diplomats attended the Durbar.
Well, I think the Kano Durbar is a fantastic spectacle. So much color, so much pomp, so much pageantry. And you know, Kano is always number one. Kano, Durbar, Birni, Megala, the Golden Good Tutsi.
We've seen it all. It's fantastic. And that is why we created additional Emirate Council. What you saw today, this evening, took place all over the other 4 Emirate Councils. So it is fantastic. It's very interesting.
Hawan-Daushe is one segment of the several Durbars in Kano. As the celebration continues, so the Durbar. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Residents described this year's Eid al-Fitr Salah celebration as a memorable one despite the economic realities and the security challenges faced by Nigerians. The residents made this known when they visited Cinderella Mini Park, Bauchi, I beg your pardon, to celebrate the Salah festival with their children and well-wishers. Adamu Imam completes the story.
The number of people in this park is an indication of peace and tranquility. People in high spirits celebrating despite insecurity and economic hardship. Some residents who visited the children's park in continuation of Salah festivities said they are grateful to be able to come out and enjoy with families and friends safely.
We celebrate Salah in Israel. Alhamdulillah, we thank Almighty God. We came to this place for an occasion to celebrate with my family. God brought us to this garden.
These are things that all children are after, and their wish always to see that their parents are taking them to this type of place to at least get some joy, which they can hardly get it while they are at home.
They said it has been long since they are out in public gathering without fear of being attacked, adding that though things are hard, especially food stock, it is important to look at the brighter side of life, according to Sadiqa Haruna.
Celebrating with our children, we had a wonderful time looking at the horses and the Durbar. We are here with the children and have fun here. I visit Cinderella, come and play, because have fun.
They pray for peace and unity in the country while calling on the Bauchi state government to continue to heighten security issues and also provide jobs for the teeming youth in the state. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Nigerian Communications Commission has confirmed the issuance of the final letters of award of the 5th generation spectrum licenses to MTN and Mafab Communications. The 2 licenses emerged winners of the 3.5 GHz spectrum auction conducted by the Commission in December last year and are now expected to roll out 5G services from the 24th of August this year. The 5G network, when deployed, is expected to usher in accelerated growth in smart living in the country. The technology is also expected to facilitate substantial network improvements, including highest connection speed, mobility and capacity, as well as low latency capabilities. Away from Nigeria, the European Union has proposed its toughest measures yet against Russia, including a total ban on oil imports and sanctions on war crime suspects. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said the package was aimed at maximizing pressure on Russia while minimizing damage to Europe. Russian crude oil would be phased out within 6 months, she said. Military officers involved in suspected war crimes in Bucha and Mariupol would also face new sanctions. The EU has been focusing for weeks on how to wean itself off Russian oil and gas. It has already pledged to reduce gas imports by 2/3 by the end of 2022 and now plans to phase out crude oil over 6 months and refined products by the end of 2022.
Today we will propose to ban all Russian oil from Europe. This will be a complete import ban on all Russian oil, seaborne and pipeline, crude and refined.
And finally, in sports, Tony Brooks, one of the defining Formula One drivers of the 1950s, has died aged 90. His daughter, Julia, announced his death on Tuesday. The Briton won 6 Grand Prix and narrowly missed out on the World Championship in 1959. Brooks, who had been the last surviving Formula One race winner of the 1950s, left a considerable mark on the sport. Between 1956 and 1959, he won 46% of the races he finished in an era when mechanical reliability was a significant feature in motorsports. Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali paid tribute to Brooks in a statement. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.